Well, today it is time for another guest recipe. This one has a pretty funny backstory. Here's this week's Brittany's Bites. Okay, we are going all in on comfort food today. Comfort food casserole. Before I tell you exactly what we're making, I've got butter going over here. It's about to be brown butter, so let me get the onions going. It's about a half a cup of white onion that I have diced up. As you can hear, it's ready to go. All right, so while that is sauteing up, we just want to soften them up a bit for about 3 to 5 minutes. We'll talk about what we're making today. It is a cheesy broccoli rice casserole. I think it's technically called broccoli rice casserole. There's a funny story that goes with it. So one of our assignment editors, Jared, said, I want you to make this for Brittany's Bites. And I said, okay, what is it? He said, it's a family recipe. We love it. It's this rice casserole, et cetera, et cetera. He said, let me get it for my family. I said, yeah, get it. I'll make it. I'll share it. It'll be great. So he gets it and he said, you know what? It's a minute rice recipe. It's been a family recipe forever. I thought it was hilarious and so charming, but it literally is from minute rice. Of course, so I had used that. I think it's so funny, but that's how, family recipes go sometimes. You find it somewhere, it gets passed along. You don't really know the origins until you ask, but if it's good, it's good. And this one definitely will be a great family dinner if you want to make it up or take it for a family get-together. And then I already did get a cup of uncooked rice, which basically doubles in size. So we've got about 2 cups now that I've already cooked. So this is just cooked rice right here. Then I got some broccoli, and it's a 10-ounce package you can get in the freezer section, and then basically you cook it however it is on the package. Then we've got 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. We've got this, it just said cheese sauce. I think this is what they meant. A cup of that we're gonna use. Then we've got some shredded cheese. And then the recipe also called for bread cubes. Didn't know exactly what that meant either. I'm sort of guessing here. So I guess it could have meant croutons, but that's basically what this stuffing is. Just basically little cubes. So I did that. We're gonna talk about how we're gonna incorporate those all in just a moment. But it looks like these are basically cooked down how we want them to be. To that, we are going to add our rice, again, already cooked. Put that all in there. Again, I started with 1 cup of uncooked, which amounts to, well, should amount to about 2 cups cooked. And then to that, we are gonna add some of those other ingredients I talked about. We're gonna start with the broccoli. I think it was called something like Tuscan flavored broccoli. I don't even know what that means. It smelled good though, so hopefully it'll be good. Then we're gonna put in the cream of mushroom soup. This stuff, if you don't have a casserole in your family that's made with cream of mushroom soup, do you really have a family recipe? And again, this kind of goes back to pure comfort food. If you're looking for a light dinner or side, this is not gonna be the one, just gonna warn you. So about a cup of this is more than a cup, so I'm gonna kind of eyeball this. I'm gonna say that's about a cup. Now, I'm gonna put this all together. And then I have this dish, by the way, that I have sprayed down with cooking spray so that we can put it in the oven. And the oven is preheating to 350 degrees behind me. Now, honestly, after a little bit of prep work of chopping up the onion, cooking the broccoli, which I just popped in the microwave, as I mentioned, because it's one of those steam packs, and then cooking the rice, you just throw this together and pop it in the oven, and that gets you free to do some other things you need to do for dinner. If you want to really make this into a meal, add some chicken in, some sort of other protein, and just serve it up as your entire meal. Okay, I think that is pretty much combined, and it does look very cheesy. Hopefully not too cheesy. All right, I'm gonna turn this off, and then we're gonna put it into our pan here. All right. It smells wonderful. It's very ooey gooey and cheesy. You just want to, on a rainy day, dig right into this. Smooth it all in. And the recipe called for about 1.5 quart dish. I think this one's about 2 quarts, but it's what I had available, so that's what I'm using. So, going back to these breadcrumbs or bread cubes, you're gonna melt a tablespoon of butter and then put some in, which I already did, so they're kind of coated in butter a little bit. Just gonna use my hands on this, and then you're gonna sprinkle them on top. And then, well, we're really gonna up the cheese factor. It calls for a half a cup of shredded cheese to be sprinkled on top. So I'm once again just gonna eyeball that. And then we're gonna pop it in the oven. See how quickly this came together once you do a little bit of prep work? And cook it for about 30 to 35 minutes. It should be all nice and golden and bubbling. And it's really gonna smell even better than it does now. and then we'll see how the finished product turns out. Okay, here we have the broccoli rice casserole out of the oven. It got all nice and bubbly for about 30 minutes or so at 350 degrees. It's still very, very warm. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop some out and see how it looks. Oh, that looks wonderful. It definitely all came together. It's all nice and cheesy and ooey gooey. Exactly what you want out of a good comfort food casserole, right? This wink wink, longtime family secret recipe. Cheers. Now remember, if you have a picture to share of one of the recipes I've made and then you've made it, or an idea for a future segment, just like Jared, you can text us at 614-460-3345 or find me on social media.